Hi, we're Roy and Karen, and this is our week completely outside the villages.
Actually, it was our week and a half on the road in our RV.
First journey to Texas.
But before we can tell you guys all about it, look up there. We got some people to thank. It's Mark and Pam and Buddy who gave us a super thanks again. I think it's the third time. I'm not sure. We're so grateful. Thank you guys so much. I do want to mention about that Amazon thing again. Some of you heard us. Somebody bought some sort of a table and we got a commission on that. How strange is that to see all these things, home furnishings that people buy, and we're getting commissions on them. And what I'm talking about is this. Use our link below. Go to Amazon, to our Amazon store. Click on any link in that store. Buy whatever you were going to buy for yourself. Doesn't have to be anything specific in our store. But if you used our link, everything you buy, we get a commission on. You don't pay 1 penny more than you would have paid. We just get a commission on whatever you buy. And that's one way you can help support this channel. We'd be very grateful. Thanks very much to everybody. Now, we hit the road Friday night right after I got done with work. And we figured we would drive as far as we could. And we made it to Tallahassee before we got exhausted. And I knew there was a Cracker Barrel there because I slept in that same Cracker Barrel when I picked up the RV in Michigan and I was on my way back. Nice, quiet spot, but this time I was with my honey.
Don't remember much. Pulled in, it was dark. Went to bed. Pulled out, it was dark.
We woke up in the morning, at least I did. I woke up around 4:30 and tried to make us some coffee, and the water pump was not working. Good morning. Saturday morning, it's 4:30. No coffee because we have no water. Don't know what happened. Water pump isn't working. Nothing I like to do better than plumbing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Karen's getting up. I woke her. Boys have been out for a walk. Think we'll need to go to a gas station, go find ourselves some coffee, and just hit the road. Oh joy. That's not the way to start a vacation, huh? So it was a pretty uneventful drive other than the water pump going out. And to kill some time, we did a lot of live Facebook streaming that day.
Just took a pit stop, get situated.
Oh.
Now we're going again.
Karen's driving.
Hang on to your boots.
Oh, that's fun. Oh.
So where are we, my honey?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Where are we, my honey? So we're 60 miles from Pensacola. And we're going to go just beyond that and make a pit stop at Buc-ee's. So we've been up and rolling about 3.5 hours. Seems like Florida is a big state. I see something.
It's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how do we sound? Look who's driving. It's Karen. You want to see Roy get terrified?
We just switch. You drive and I get terrified. I drive, you get terrified.
Yeah, we were pulling out of our house, getting ready to hit the road, and the next thing you know, neighbors are coming out and saying, "Hey, can we take a look? Can we have a tour?" Okay. We can delay our trip by 15 minutes. That's okay. A quick shout out to Karen Cooper. As you know, we visited you and Roy when we were there last month. We toured homes with our awesome sales representative, Marion Evans.
I know who this is. This is Brian.
Yep. We mentioned to him that we had a great time with Roy and Karen at Edna's. On our last day, Marion told us he ran into Karen and they had a brief conversation about us.
Yeah.
We feel fortunate to have these new friends. You're all awesome.
Yeah. Now there's some great people coming into town, and Brian, I think you and Debbie qualify for that.
Yep, we agree.
Yeah. And it's so exciting. And I do mortgages, and I help some of the people coming into town, and it's exciting. It brings back our experience that we just went through. And it's 15 months already since we went through this, and we've been down the same path as all these folks, and it's an awesome path. Love sharing that with them.
Yep. Sure. Leslie says we have an hour and a half to Texas.
Oh, thanks, Leslie. It's always good to know.
Mark, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Avitisian?
Yeah.
How did I do?
Mark and Pam and Buddy.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mark. How you doing, buddy? And Buddy. And Pam.
Yes. Real pleasant.
We were just passing an 18-wheeler, and the next thing you know, he goes off into the median. He had fallen asleep, and he almost flipped it. But thank God he managed to hold it up, not flip it over.
Yeah.
It was
He had a
very
passenger.
much slow motion right in front of us.
Yeah, we weren't sure if he was going to yank it and come back and take us
Yeah,
out,
we didn't
or
know
what was
if
going
we
to
should
happen.
back off or speed up. So I backed off, and then all of a sudden it looked like, uh-oh, and I just stepped on it and passed him. But he managed to save himself. We drove for about 15 hours.
At least.
We did stop at a Buc-ee's in Alabama.
And again when we got into Texas.
Correct. But that one in Alabama, they had these buckets of bug juice remover or whatever the heck it was. And it wasn't where the gas was. It was off on another sidewall over there. And I just happened to catch it off the corner of my eye. I went, oh, what's this? And I just started cleaning the RV off with it. It was amazing stuff. So I've got some bought coming in from Amazon for ourselves. If it works as good as that stuff did, I'm going to put it in the store for everybody. I bought a gallon of it. We collect a lot of bugs on the road, I got to tell you. But we did, like you said, we went to another Buc-ee's just east of Houston. And we had planned to stay in a Cracker Barrel just west of Houston. But because the water pump went out, and because the weatherman said it was going to be warm at night, we just figured, you know what? Let's go find an RV park. It is Sunday morning, and I found ourselves a Corps of Engineer park. I can't even pronounce it. Vengua, something or other. Another hour and a half from a Buc-ee's we stayed at just on the east side of Houston, because we could get full hookups. So we'd have water when we could run the air conditioning because it's warm. For $15 a night. For $15, well, for $7.50 a piece, we each get showers. Boys are here, happy. Karen's in the bathroom back there, getting ready. And the plan for today is our small group, Bible study group of friends, our best friends in Texas. We're planning on going to church with them this morning, so we got up early, we set the alarm so we could get there on time and be with them. So we woke up in the morning, beautiful morning. the images I'm showing behind us right now just really don't do justice to it. When we were looking at that sun, it was so huge. But it was a beautiful area, and it was only a couple of hours from where we needed to be on Sunday morning.
Yep, we went to meet our friends to go to church service all together at the church that they had branched off into after we moved. Just awesome. It was so nice to be able to gather with them again for the first time in 15 months, and it was
really
cool.
missed them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I missed them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I love our life here. I love our life there. And we're realizing the depth of those relationships. We kind of miss that.
Yeah.
Hopefully with time we'll develop the same depth with new relationships here.
As we've mentioned before, the boys just aren't accustomed to doing all their business when they're on a leash. And we were right by their old dog park. And so it was perfect. And I really was curious if they would remember my old routine with them. When I would take them to the dog park, there are 3 sections. You have the little dogs, and you've got the big dogs, and then they've got a whole nother section with
water.
With like a little mini lake in there. And so if you don't want your dogs to go into the water, you don't go into that 3rd section. But my routine with the boys was to go from one section to the next section to the next section, and then reverse it. They remembered it. It was so much fun, and it was so curious that they've been away for a year and a half, but they knew, hey, we're waiting at the gate for you, Dad. Get us in there. It was so much fun. It was so nice. And that allowed us to kill some time, because that evening
We went to our favorite Mediterranean restaurant, Almara Mediterranean Cuisine, and had dinner with Bridget and Taylor and the Schwanzes and the Alvarezes.
These are, again, our friends that we went to church with that morning.
That we've just missed so much, and it was so nice to spend that extra time with them.
We were done with the dog park, and we really didn't know what the heck to do with ourselves. So we drove this is one of the beauties of having an RV, is we drove ourselves to the parking lot of the restaurant, turned the generator on, put the air conditioning on. It was hot, it was humid, it was muggy out there. We're in the Austin area. And we just read a book. We just were reading and chilling.
People showed up.
And waited till it was time for dinner. Something just happened back there. It was a wonderful dinner. We all got to just
visit and catch up,
reacquaint ourselves, and tell all of our stories and everything.
Cheese balls.
Wait, look at that one, and then we can't see Christopher.
Well, you can't see Christopher in that one.
Come on.
There we go. Right there.
The movement of the car.
There you go.
Okay.
Cheese balls.
Those are cheese balls.
And then we headed to our campground, which was Lake Georgetown, another Army Corp of Engineer place. Beautiful, with a gorgeous view.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm showing it to you. This video that Karen took is just beautiful.
Cedar Breaks. We used to hike there.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Wasn't that far from our old stomping grounds.
Right.
And it was perfectly placed, halfway between where our daughter and son-in-law live and
Well, you're
where
living
we
without
used
the
to
color,
live.
guys. That's what's happening.
I can't believe where we are. Look at this. It's perfect weather, perfect day, and the perfect day after we got to see our friends and Bridget and Taylor. And awesome. And now look, here we are.
Let's go take a walk.
All right.
We are at Lake Georgetown, in Georgetown, Texas. About 15 minutes from all of our friends in Leander, and about 15 minutes from where Bridget and Taylor live in Jarrell. Well, I guess we're not going to see much from in the RV, but it's a pretty short walk to come here and take a look at the lake. And the sun is going down right over there. Mm-hmm. And me and my honey, we got our sundowners.
Cheers.
Cheers to everybody. What do you got there, honey?
Trader Joe's Red Blend Reserve.
Walmart Bloody Mary. And I think it's with Fred's vodka.
No, Stolies.
Oh, okay. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. That was day 3, Sunday. On days 4, 5, 6, and 7, it was visit with Bridget. It was visit with the Schwanzes and the Alvarezes again. It was Mother's Day dinner. It was all kinds of various things. We also went to Paul Schwanz's testimony at another church. And I think that was when the idea that since we've moved to the villages, we just haven't been as deep with God as we had in the past. I really became convicted by his testimony. And the idea was, just because you get to this point in your life, you're not done. And we're not only are we not done with us, we're not done serving others. Been doing
We
it.
haven't found where to plug in here. We keep
Right.
looking, we keep trying, we keep searching, just haven't found the right spot yet.
And it's odd because we love the church that we're at right now. We don't have anything negative to say about it. But it's all retirees. And the pastor who started it, Chris, that was his whole intention, to serve the retiree community here.
But where we came from, it was multi-generational.
Right. It was families, and families that might need marital ministry, might need financial ministry. And that's where we've been inserting ourselves and getting a lot of spiritual satisfaction back in Texas. And we're hoping to bring that back to our lives here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. We have some thoughts and some ideas. So we went to the Schwanz's home for dinner, and we left the boys unbuckled in the RV. And the next thing we know,
clicked it to lock it.
we locked it. We did
Keep
everything.
them nice and secure.
Air conditioning was on. Everything was good. But you got a phone call. You got a call on your cell phone. We got your dogs.
What's with us going on vacation and dogs escaping?
Luckily, it happened in a residential neighborhood. The dogs just pushed the power windows in the RV and let themselves out. They just jumped out.
After we locked it with the remote, they were on a timer
And they still worked.
They managed to roll the windows down before that stopped, and we had already gone inside, so we didn't see it.
We didn't know it. So we got the phone call. We go run and go get them. And it's so funny because our boys are like brothers from another mother. And they just go together down the street. They just Mutt and Jeff, and they just go together. I've watched them do this so many times, I'm sorry to say. But we got them, brought them back. And then you also got to visit your friends.
Got to go have lunch with my old team that I used to work with in the Austin area. It was nice to catch up with them. Everybody made it. It was so nice. And be able to
It's just so
spend some
nice.
time with them while Roy and the boys hung out, and it
Yeah.
was good.
I hung out and kept on reading. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but when I'm home, I'm distracted. And it's very hard for me to read. There's always something to tinker with, or there's a TV show I'd like to watch, or which means YouTube.
And if he's distracted, then I
you're-
get to be distracted.
Right. But when I'm in the RV, well, I didn't watch TV one time in a week and a half. I actually brought with me a Chromecaster so that I figured I could put on YouTube on my cell phone and cast it to our TV, the little pop-up TV we have in the RV. Not one time. And what I was able to do was I finished a book and a half. And one of those books was a good one.
It was a very bittersweet parting because we hadn't seen these folks since we moved, and it was kind of hard to say goodbye so quickly because we just saw them for a few days and then off we go. And
We had 5 days to visit, and everybody works. That just gave Karen and I time to sit. We really didn't want to be tourists in the Austin area. We used to live there. The things we wanted to do, we did.
and we are taking a break from work, so we did want to have some downtime, and it worked out well.
And so sitting, reading, but we hit the road very early Friday morning. Since we knew how much time it took us to get to Texas, we knew we had those hours on Friday night. We knew we had those hours on Sunday morning, and then a 15, 16-hour day the prior Saturday. We wanted to get as early a start as possible.
And we knew the worst traffic to try to navigate there was Houston.
Right.
So we wanted to get past that before all the
So we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
hit the road by 3:30.
Actually, I think we hit the road by 3:15. You got coffee going. We drank it as we drove. We didn't sit around trying to wake up. We just got moving, and it was a nice day driving. We did more lives, and maybe I'm putting them up, and maybe I'm not. We'll find out. But the idea was to get to Destin. That was the plan. And again, the beauty of an RV. The plans just didn't work out the way I had envisioned before the trip started. I had everything planned, but it was planned based on having water. And it was planned based on the temperature being reasonable enough for us to go to sleep without air conditioning. Neither one of those things transpired. It was 80 degrees at night, and we had no water. So I went out looking for a campground, and I found something nice enough about a half an hour from Gulf Shores, which we've never been to. Let's go check it out. So we spent Saturday night at this RV park, and the next day we went down to Gulf Shores.
Hi, this is Roy and Karen, and Cole. They would like to come out with us.
Where are we?
We are in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Right over there is the water. You ready? Anything we should know about the water here? We have to worry about sharks? No red tide?
No, not luckily not here. It's a little rough today because of the wind.
Can I hang
but-
10?
What is it?
Can I hang 10 on the water here?
You hang 10? Can you hang 10? You should aim to hang 12, man. Yeah.
But we can at least hang out.
Yeah, you can hang out. Yeah, that you can do. Yeah, that you can do.
All right, good to know.
All right.
See
You
ya.
guys have a good one. For sure.
Here we are.
Look at this. Holy moly.
They're getting ready for a big festival here.
Yeah,
That's a giant stage. Live music.
next weekend.
Glad we didn't come during that.
Sugar sand.
Um,
Okay, off the flip-flop.
yep, flip-flops are coming off. So you will have to tell us the difference between this sand and Destin sand when we get over there.
I'll have to let you know.
This is Gulf Shore sand. So the question is, and we were talking about this, is the sand in Gulf Shores, Alabama, is it the same sand they have in Destin, Florida? It seemed like, how different could it possibly be? How would you describe the sand in Alabama?
It was probably the whitest, finest sand that I've been on
There you go.
so far.
But if you could give it a roughness description, would you say it was like granulated sugar?
I'd say it's definitely like granulated sugar.
Okay. So it's now Saturday morning and we are off to Destin. We're leaving Gulf Shores, off to Destin. Now, I got to tell you, we're coming into Destin. We got water on both sides of us. There's got to be 500 boats all jammed together out there, just, I don't know,
It's like, what is it?
a half a square mile
Crab
of
season,
water.
or what
And
was
it's just
it?
no, but they were all just partying down there. And then on the other side, your side, there were these little, almost like man-made islands, and people would just drive their boats up there and party on the islands. But we do get to Destin, and you can't park an RV there. And I got the distinct impression, and you can say how you feel about it, but I got the impression it's kind of like how we felt about going on the cruise ships. It felt like it just wasn't our crowd. And we're surrounded by party animals, and I'm just going, let's just get the heck out of here.
Yeah. How far do we have to go to get away from all that?
Yeah. So we couldn't park the RV. We couldn't get out to go check anything out. And then we came upon Miramar Beach, which is just a few miles down from Destin. And there was a great big empty parking lot in front of one of these souvenir shops. So we bring the RV in there, leave the generator going, got the air conditioning going for the boys, and we go shopping. Guess what I've got? You did some
Birthday present shopping.
niece and nephew birthday shopping. And so I said to the lady there, I said, hey, take a look out the window. See that RV sitting out there? She goes, yeah. I said, I'm thinking about just leaving it there with the air conditioning turned on for our furry boys and heading over to the beach over there and take my wife so she can put her feet in the water. Oh, go ahead. Take your time. Don't rush. It was very nice.
Yeah.
So
we found a public access spot and we went out there. Gorgeous, just gorgeous, gorgeous colored water. It wasn't quite as populated as Destin was. The sand was even more fine than what we had experienced.
So what would you say that the sand felt like?
More like baker's sugar instead of
I don't know what
granulated
the heck
sugar.
baker's sugar is.
Very, very fine.
Not as fine as confectioner sugar,
That's
but
powdery.
but finer than granulated sugar. So you say halfway in between?
I'd say.
Okay.
We made
So
it.
where are we? Where the heck are
We are at Destin,
I think we're at Miramar Beach.
Miramar Beach.
We are at Miramar Beach.
Yeah, because trying to park an RV in Destin, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. But we made it. Look at that water. Okay,
Let's go swim.
let's go. So, Galveston. We've been to the Gulf before. We went to Padre Island,
North Padre Island.
and we stayed in Galveston. We know what the water is like over there in the Gulf. At least we thought we knew what Gulf water was like. The water in Galveston is really warm.
Murky and icky and
Yeah. Now, the water in Alabama wasn't as murky, but it still had that kind of greenish tint to it, but it was clearer, and but it was refreshing. Would you agree with that? Okay. But we went to Miramar Beach. All of a sudden, you got that turquoise, that clear, really nice. Really, really nice.
Really nice.
I could see why people would want to go there. It was so refreshing, so nice. And Miramar was not crowded like Destin.
it had people were out and about, but I mean it was Mother's Day weekend. But it wasn't just as crazy as Destin.
Yeah. So we enjoyed it, but we really couldn't spend the day. I had envisioned going to a bar, getting a drink, sitting around, people watching in Destin. It just
Hopefully
wasn't going to happen.
Pet friendly, maybe we could bring the boys.
Yeah.
There was none of that going on.
No, it just was not going to happen. So again, went back onto my phone and just started looking for a campground. And knowing that Army Corps of Engineer parks are cheap
Beautiful.
and beautiful.
Very well taken care of.
Yes,
and
very
maintained.
well maintained. I found one called East Bank on Lake Seminole in Georgia, just over the state line from Florida into Georgia, not far. So that was the end of a very, very long day.
Yeah, we got up at 3:30 in the morning and we ended up in Georgia.
And we didn't make it to the campground till about
It was
9
dark.
o'clock.
Yeah.
About 9, maybe even 9:30.
But everything was fine. We got in.
Perfect.
Everything waited
and
for
we
us.
got lulled to sleep by the frogs. Now Karen seems to think she heard something that wasn't a frog, and she felt that it was the call of a mating alligator.
It definitely wasn't a frog.
It could have been a very large frog.
Like maybe 12 feet long.
Okay. So we woke up in the morning and we go out there and we look at this beautiful place that we're at. It was just gorgeous. By the way, those two blue bags on the hood of the RV, that was showing you that the boys enjoyed themselves too. They took care of business.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. So it took us about 5 or 6 hours to get from Georgia to the villages. And that was on Sunday. And we got back here probably around 5 o'clock in the afternoon and gave us time to offload the RV and
Get some laundry done. And
say little things and have dinner and all that. And early enough so we can sit and relax a little bit here and prepare for you to go back and do mortgages.
that's what I do.
So that was our week and a half traveling the South from Florida to Texas and back again. We stopped in Alabama, Gulf Shores for the first time, saw Destin,
Miramar Beach and
hit how many? 3 different Corps of Engineer parks, and every one of them was perfect.
yeah, got to see Lake Seminole. I'd never seen that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever been to Georgia. That was my first time.
If you want to watch our very first trip in this RV, you should check out this video right here. In the meantime,
We appreciate you stopping by.
see ya.